guys! Today's video I want to dedicate to all the students who are preparing for admission tests such as TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, GRE or SAT. I've noticed that my students have a problem developing study plan and sticking to it. So I will suggest you some strategies and I hope they will help you to achieve desirable score. First of all, you need to go online on the official website of that exam and find everything about that exam, meaning you have to find the format of exam, how long the exam lasts, how many sections the exam has, what are the questions in each section. These are the things you need in order to understand the format of the test. I have to tell you about admission tests. They are not the true representation of your English knowledge, rather it's the format and learning the way how to take these exams. So when you found out the format of exam, go and find out some free simulation online just to get familiar with the format of the exam. After you completed the simulation, you found out what your score is, you can get a clear picture of what your weak areas are. Next thing you have to do is go to the website of the university you want to apply to and find out what is the minimum score they require. If you are moving to another country, go to the government site, or if you are like moving to a foreign country based on your job occupation, check what is the minimum score for that job occupation or for getting a professional license. For example, I had a student who was passing, IELTS Academic, and she needed band 7 to get accepted to the, official, committee of dentists in Ireland, right? So each occupation for getting a professional license, they will have this minimum score and the requirements will be listed on their website. It's really useful to know these things so you can focus on the areas. If you need, like, for example, 7, why would you why would you aim for more? I think it's a waste of energy for these kind of things. But if you're going to the university and for example, that higher score in SAT will, bring you more money, more scholarship money, then yes, you should focus and aim higher. Okay, after you finish that, next thing is to develop this study plan I'm talking to you. I'm explaining to you. So what I did for myself, I went, in Word, and I developed a table, and I assessed my knowledge, and I said, okay, I will need 3 months to study for this exam. I will do this by, studying each day for 1 to 2 hours, and on weekends I will study 3 hours. Then I would decide what day I'm studying what. For example, I believe that, in order for something to stay in your long-term memory, you have to repetition, always repeat it. So for example, if 7 days I'm studying the grammar and weak areas from the grammar, whether it's adjectives or, word order or whatever, I will study that for 7 days. And then on the 8th day, I will review it. And then the following 7 days, I will study something else, right? So, and then after the second week, I will review the first week and the second week so I don't forget it. It always, it always helped me even when I was a student, because I was an excellent student, always getting so many awards and, recognitions and everything. So I really love to study. So this really, helped me, during my career as well. Next thing, you have to decide, when you decide, the time and you develop the study plan, you have to decide which resources you will use. By resources, I mean whether you study materials and whether you will study by yourself, find a tutor or find a group, study group. So if you're doing by yourself, when you're checking the resources, stick to one publisher and you don't have to buy the latest editions, because each year they just change maybe 20% of the book, and usually those are examples. So I would suggest you, for example, if you are taking TOEFL and you want, and you decided to take Princeton Review, let's say publisher, so buy their book for how to crack the exam and some practice exams. That's you have a separate book for that. Usually in how to crack you have only one full exam, and then in these practice exams you have like six to seven practice exams. So if you use Princeton Review, don't mix it with Barron's, Kaplan's, just stick to one publisher. I'm not saying if you're studying for the grammar that you cannot use another books, but if you're using the tips from one book, it will all mixed in your head if you try to use other materials. So for example, nowadays we have internet and lots of resources are available online, but there is a trick there also. Some of these gurus, online gurus, they don't, they are just like repeating some stuff that other people said, and the message gets lost in translation. So better to use some publisher that is recognized out there. So for example, for TOEFL, I would suggest TOEFL SAT Princeton Review is my favorite, and whenever I'm tutoring my students, I am sticking to their tips, plus I'm suggesting some of my own tips. I mentioned that you have 3 ways to study for the exam. You can do it either by yourself, which will take a little bit more time and energy and resources. You can find a study group. A study group is usually a language school, and they have like a groups of 5 to 6 people. It's much cheaper, but the problem with the study groups is that not all the students have the same affinities, they're not on the same level, and they don't have the same goals. Tutor cannot, in that way, the tutor cannot dedicate his time to you and only to your problems. Rather, he is explaining to the entire group. And the third option is to hire a tutor like I am, and then you have sessions one-on-one, and I can focus on your weaknesses and point you in the right direction. What does tutor do? Tutor doesn't study for you. He cannot, just do the magic and, help you learn English over the night. Rather, tutor can, help you understand what your weak areas are and point you in the right direction and which areas you should focus on. That's what tutor does, and tutor tells you all the tricks, at the exam and what the examiner is looking from you, for example, in a speaking section, etc., etc., etc. Next thing, so sometimes, I know there are problems. Problem is to pay for the tutor. One-on-one sections are a little bit expensive, and like lots of parents, they don't have money. So in that case, study by yourself, or just save some money to pay at least for 2-3 lessons with the tutor, because it will help you. Think about this in a long term. If you don't pass exam, within your first attempt, you have to pay, every time you go out and take the exam. So it's better paying to tutor and just doing it right the first time. Also, so these would be my tips for you, and I hope I helped you a little bit, and that you will achieve your desired score. If you need any assistance in preparing for TOEFL, SAT, or IELTS Academic in general, I'm here for you. Please find my links in the section below and follow me on social media. Thank you so much. Bye!